It's been a rough week for me.
Why?
So it started Thursday, and it's like a bad movie, like B-rated movie. I have been getting these like telemarketer calls, but the phone number that pops up isn't just like unknown, because you can trace unknown numbers.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you call your phone company, they'll be able to track it. No, I get 000000000 that calls me. And there's no way to track it. There's no way to block it either, because I called AT&T, my phone provider. They can't block an quote-unquote illegitimate number.
It's like a fake number.
Yeah, it's a fake number.
It's probably a data call or something.
Well, I had it out with this Jose Larez or something, which was the fakest name I've ever heard in my life, because dude was not a Jose.
It's probably a radio name.
I hope it's a radio bit, because I gave him the best radio stuff anywhere. I mean, I went off on dude. Like, I was like, 12 hours of this shit.
Well, what did he want?
Nothing. He said, okay, first he spat everything at me. I won a $100 Walmart gift card. I won a cruise. And I'm like, what company are you with? And he's like, Direct Ally. And I was like, Direct Ally, what is that? So I'm at home, so I Google it. I'm like, no such company exists, I'm like, Direct Ally, that's ironic, because Google can't find you. And he's like, oh, well, Direct Ally is the company I'm with. And I was like, but that's not a company. Like, not happening, So I said some very choice words to him.
It's funny because I haven't changed my phone number since I left Connecticut, so I've had the same cell phone number for 10 years. Around October, I kept getting calls from the Linda McMahon campaign for Congress.
Linda McMahon, like the wrestler?
Yes. I kept getting those phone calls. Like, yes, we wanted to call you. We're calling on behalf of Linda McMahon for Congress. I said, you do realize I don't live in Connecticut anymore. Oh, when did you leave? I left about 2 years ago. Oh, we're sorry to hear that. Well, can you support an absentee ballot? Click. But I can't, and it was a different number all the time.
See, why can't I get cool telemarketers like that instead of like Jose Larez, who is not Jose Larez, okay?
Dude, Linda McMahon, if they called me, that would be the coolest thing ever. First thing I'd be like, well, of course,
Vince?
But I got to say, what you gonna do, brother? Like, that's so good, play that one up. Be like,
spit every line
you can't have my vote. You want that? It's a steel cage, baby. I'm talking chairs, tables, blood, no foul. You know what I'm saying?
What was the ladder match? Challenge her to a ladder match,
Yeah, I'll vote for you if you go grab that big old belt off that thing up there, lady.
Yeah.
Ready? Break.
Speaking of WWE, the only way that Lance Armstrong is getting back into this game is if he becomes a wrestler.
Absolutely right.
I mean, he's already roided up now, so hey, why not go in both feet? All right, buddy. I would say go in with another anatomical part, but he doesn't have all those, so go in with just both feet.
It's interesting too with the whole what happened last week with the Baseball Hall of Fame. All of these guys were up for induction, and they were all shut out.
Right.
And then Lance Armstrong, he comes out and admits and says, I probably wouldn't have won the Tour de France without doping all those years. But it brings up the question now. These guys put their bodies through so much.
Right.
Shouldn't they, what is it that they shouldn't be allowed to do to maintain that?
And as the song says, Lance is half the man he used to be.
Oh. I just think it's great how, like, for all these years, he lied to everybody. It's a fact. He lied. I mean, he sued people. He yelled at people. You're wrong. I'm right. Next thing you know, like Oprah, like, I don't know what it is, but she's like, she gets it out of you.
I know.
Do you know what I'm saying?
It's impossible not to cry on that show. Two things I've learned from the Oprah Winfrey Show and OWN Network, okay, her new network. One, you cannot, like, it's impossible not to cry. And two, she's going to dig up the bloodiest, dirtiest garbage on you and make you admit to it. Even if it might not necessarily be 100% true, you're going to admit to it on no.
But in this case, she didn't even have to do that.
No.
Because she's like, she was all like, yeah,
didn't
she
Lance
was
come to her?
I don't know how it happened, but she's just thinking, all right, she was going to have to do that.
Right.
Well, did you this and all this, whatever. He's straight up like, yes, I did this, I did that, I did that. And then she's like, all right. I mean, she'll get you saying anything. I was doping, and then when I was 5, I stole a candy bar from Kroger. I got him out,
a half hour, an hour?
Yeah.
So, I mean, after the first 15 minutes when he admits to all that, what do you fill the rest of the show with?
Yeah.
You know, it's just like, when I heard this interview was coming on, I just couldn't believe it because...
But dude's still an athlete, though. I mean, come on. I know plenty of people who, dope and use the HGH and stuff like that, even like in high school. They are like, I don't know, changing tires and stuff now. You still got to have like a certain degree of athleticism.
Yeah, you do.
I mean, to do what he pulled off. I mean, just because he was on HGH and all this other crap, it didn't like change the fact that he still had a drive and a work ethic that made him who he was.
Did they ever say that he was using it because he may have been suffering from cancer?
I don't know. And to a certain degree, I almost don't care anymore. Like,
yeah.
You stripped him of everything. He's got like $0 coming in. Livestrong bailed when the whole thing happened.
He's about to get sued too by all these companies that gave him money.
I mean, he's got $0. Okay, essentially, he's got nothing to show for it. Okay, what he did, which is a great feat in itself. I mean, granted, he did have an advantage, but
he had to be in great shape to get there in the first place.
Exactly.
Yep.
Barry Bonds, I mean, these guys taking, guess what? They still had to hit that ball.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That performance-enhancing drugs.
I had Barry Bonds' rookie card, and
eyeball.
he's this big, though.
Oh,
his rookie
yeah.
card, I mean,
Oh,
he
yeah.
is a toothpick.
But still, I mean, his hand-eye coordination.
Yeah, I mean, you can't teach that.
Yeah, you can't teach that. You can't get a syringe to teach that for you either.
Right.
You still got to be able to do it.
Well, you know who I wish would end up on Oprah's couch next or on Oprah's show to really get the real story? How do I pronounce it? Manti Te'o?
Oh, about the whole girlfriend thing?
Oh, my God.
Well, now he's denying the whole fact. I'm like, how do you deny it? You came out. There's no denying it.
Well, supposedly, the story was that he was not a part of the hoax, but I guess he met some girl online that he was dating that he never actually met. And
for 2 years.
Contacted him
Yeah.
about that she died of leukemia. So someone was playing a joke on him. So I'm going to guess that as the story progresses, it's going to come out that maybe he was sending this person money and this and that to try and, because there's no other motivation for someone to do that to somebody unless it's to try to get some money out of them.
Show me one person on one of these dating sites, eHarmony, even AIM back in the day, okay, that you didn't go, I don't know, 6 months and didn't meet that person.
Yeah, especially
or have some sort of physical contact, whether it be face chat, whether it be something. One person, that's all I want, for more than 6 months, 6 months plus.
Right.
Okay, it's impossible. We need that as the human psyche needs that to know that you're real. Okay,
Yep.
because after that 6 months period, me personally, I'm thinking it's a dude.
Right.
And he was saying he's with her for 3 years.
Yeah.
Or a very large person.
Well, or somebody that couldn't do it by themselves and who's afraid to be on the other end of the camera.
Have you ever met someone or had a relationship with a fake person or you thought was real?
No.
Like an imaginary friend?
Well, yeah, I guess. I mean,
when I was a kid, sure. I mean, all kids do, right?
You had an imaginary friend.
Yeah, I had an imaginary friend.
I did. I wasn't.
I even know that I remember my imaginary friend's name.
Ooh.
Max. My imaginary friend. My mom would call us down for dinner, and I'd be like, "Come on, Max, we're going." And we'd run downstairs, man.
Did your mom set a place for Max?
No. It didn't go that far because Max was always busy.
So, I mean, but I'm just saying that's
he had
not
trouble
hospitable.
digesting the food.
Yeah, not hospitable, I mean, so show Max some Southern hospitality.
No, Max was always busy for dinner, so, that couldn't happen.
What about yours? What was your imaginary friend's name?
Bobby.
Bobby?
Yep,
And what did Bobby do?
Well, I used to have like a large train set in my basement, and it was elaborate to the point where it looked like there would be small cities and towns and everything. And we would just play with the trains together. We go out and play like hide and seek together. I was always hiding, but no one would come and find me. So after a couple of years of this, I started to realize that, gee, maybe I'm freaking whacked.
Yeah. See, Max and I didn't get that far. We would play Legos together, and I literally named all my Lego people as a kid. Like, I had names for them. They had jobs, and they did their work.
See, I never had an imaginary friend, but I was part of Strike Force.
What's Strike Force?
Oh, my brother, he knows what Strike Force is. Yeah, we had like a fort and everything, and
Well, forts are cool, man. Every kid had a fort.
Yeah, but it was like me, my brother, the neighborhood kids, and we had Strike Force. We would go out and like solve crimes around the neighborhood, and like it was Strike Force.
But that's normal.
Yeah,
with Nerf gun it and everything.
Absolutely right. So
yeah.
I never had an imaginary friend. I don't know. I don't know. I played Nintendo when I was bored.
But a lot of people say, oh, well, you replaced your, you formed this imaginary friend because you didn't have any, true friends. That's not true. I had a brother, and I had other neighborhood kids.
Very cool brother.
My little brother?
Yeah.
He's a giant.
I said he's cool.
but that's a different topic.
But they just weren't as cool as your imaginary friend.
Max knew me inside and out because I created him.
Yep. Anything you wanted to do went.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, Max, we're going to play Legos. And guess what Max said? Badass, we're playing Legos.
Well, at least you didn't have Linda, and then you went ahead and played with Barbies. So that's a good one. That's a good one, guys.
But, in all honesty, Max ended about kindergarten for me.
Oh, wow. You into that relationship.
Yeah, he just disappeared because I had too many friends to keep track of, so I couldn't keep track of the Max saga.
So you created him? How did you destroy him?
I don't know. I guess I just forgot about him.
He transferred to a different school district.
He died of leukemia.
Parents moved and he stayed in the house.
Yeah, but, Revenge of the Nerds. Okay, look at even...
Skolnick?
Napoleon Dynamite. This is my girlfriend from she doesn't live in this state. She lives in California.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
Happened in Napoleon Dynamite.
LaFonda.
Totally is real, though.
I don't know, man. The thing about it, that Teo guy.
Dude's lonely.
Yeah, but the girl... Okay, he's a Heisman guy. He's going to go to the NFL, right? Now, you have everyone and their mom tweeting him. I don't care if it's from USC being like, dude, I'm from USC and you suck, right? Or it's, I'm the biggest Notre Dame fan and you're God, okay?
Right.
Doesn't matter. He's getting it from everybody. But he looks at the one Twitter tag that's named Lova, L-O-V-A, and says, I want her. Come on, dude.
Well, it's not like he's a bad-looking guy either. There must have been women on campus that were throwing themselves.
Lova sounds like,
but he's
they know what they're
or
doing.
something. So, I think that has to do with part of it, maybe, where he couldn't date somebody or something.
They have multiple wives, don't they?
Yeah.
Not Indiana.
I want some magic underwear is what I want. I don't know what that's about, but I want some.
And man, so, I'm going to go see Django for the third time.
Really?
Yes, the third time.
Why?
It's just,
Did everything hold true? When Django came out, everybody was like, N-word is tossed around too much, and how dare they? And people were like, oh, Tarantino, you're going down for this.
I think it's probably historically accurate, to be honest. If Django was a movie about a bounty hunter, or a set of bounty hunters in 2012, then maybe it would definitely be above the line. But 2 years before the Civil War, that was just common language. Okay. And the way it was used in context. And more so about it was action. The plot was well done. Great acting.
Best Tarantino film now?
I think it's the best Tarantino film because it had something in it for
everybody.
Over
Pulp Fiction?
Over Pulp Fiction.
Impossible.
Over
Jackie
Bill.
Over Jackie Brown?
Over Jackie Brown.
Impossible.
It's a good movie. I saw it.
And Samuel L. Jackson
is the greatest character ever. You look at it and you're like, wow.
He looks like Uncle Ruckus from Boondocks.
He does. He does, doesn't he?
Yes.
You boys.
Dude, awesome. His character, when I saw it, I was like, all right, that's Samuel L., but he plays it to a T.
Right.
Leo was one of my favorite actors of all time.
I love Leonardo DiCaprio.
And he played this role so well, he made me hate him for that 2.5 hours I was sitting there. He made me hate him. And I'm like, if he doesn't, but he keeps not getting awards or nominated for awards. So I'm like, he must have ticked somebody off.
He had to have.
Yeah.
He had to have. Because he's been in amazing movies.
You're right. I noticed like Inception, great movie and great part, but he wasn't nominated for anything.
Shutter Island.
That is the movie, Leonardo DiCaprio movie. If you've never seen Shutter Island.
Never seen that.
Awesome
And he did
movie.
Shutter Island and Inception in the same year.
Wow, okay. I thought Shutter Island was like a sequel to The Beach.
No.
Yeah, The Beach was good. He was good in that. Remember he lost his mind?
Yeah, no. Shutter Island is you at the end of the movie you go, what the hell?
So I must red box it.
Yes, Redbox it or it might be on Netflix.
Shutter Island, the plot takes so many twists and turns. Talk about imaginary friends. You just go see it for yourself.
Yeah.
It's just it's bizarre. And when it ends, it's just like, oh my God.
You're almost to the point where you're pissed off, but it's impossible to be pissed off right there because of the fact that it is an amazing movie. It's a good writing and everything like that. But speaking of good writing right now, movies taking the downfall on the writing aspect. Movies suck now.
Absolutely right.
Minus Django. Okay, I'll give you Django.
But it's original, though.
It is original.
The crap they're bringing out now is like rehashed from years ago.
Who cares? I mean, like, Transformers, when that came out, it was cool.
Yes.
Now we're on the fourth one, and I'm like, bring back Optimus Prime when he was, battling Megatron, and that was it, okay? And it was just day after day. They didn't go into a city. They just fought in the desert and let him hash it out, okay? That was cool, even for the 80s.
So how many Spider-Mans you're going to have? You're going to have the Spider-Man 1, 2, and 3. Now you're going to have the Amazing Spider-Man. Like what?
Which we've seen the product of how he became Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Every single series. We get it.
Well, I like this particular series of the Batman they just wrapped up.
Yeah.
Now they're coming out with the Superman one. And because of Christopher Nolan's involvement, I think it's going to be good because of how well he did Batman.
The trailer looks good. But, after Batman, are they going to do
Nightwing,
or are they going to do, like, Robin takes over? But Robin taking over is Nightwing.
Right.
I don't know. I'm just glad they've made all the X-Men movies because, look, all that, there's so many stories.
Sure.
It's like originality still.
Well,
there's another Wolverine.
Wolverine coming out.
Yeah.
Wolverine is going to be in the new Avengers, from what I hear, and so they have to build up that plot. Thor 2, Iron Man 3, which is coming out this year, and I mean,
but that's good. That's originality. That's not saying, hey, we got a new
isn't.
Karate Kid's coming out. Oh, Karate Kid. I don't care how many you make. I know the story of Karate Kid.
We all knew the story of Captain America.
Yeah,
and they remake that. They're just making comic books. They're fantasizing our 6-year-old mentality of having that comic book open, being like, I'm now Captain America.
So what was Max's favorite comic book?
Shut up.
My mom used to actually read me comic books before I would go to sleep as a child. Like I'd be in bed and she'd read
that was
me
your
the
Dr.
X-Men
Seuss?
comics. I was beyond Dr. Seuss at that point. I wanted action and adventure, and so she'd whip out the X-Men comics. So when I remember I'm watching the movie, and everything, I know what's accurate and what's not.
Dude, that is awesome. Your mom read you comic books.
Yes.
That is awesome.
That's pretty cool.
Like I was on like the X-Men to the point where they were in the future, and there was who was it? It was not Cable. It was Bishop.
Oh, the X-Force. Yeah.
X-Force.
We were in that series of X-Men.
Wow.
At that point when I was.
Do you know that if we were at a bar right now and we had this conversation, we would be the 3 guys who would not be getting laid?
That happens anyway. Shut up, McFly.